Before you even pick out your outfit, before you even apply that first layer of mascara, we need to address the single most important factor that will determine the success of your date. It isn't your dress, it isn't the venue, it is your energy. Most women walk into a date with a specific, heavy question sitting in the back of their minds. They might not say it out loud, but their energy is screaming it. That question is, I hope he likes me. When you enter a room with the vibration of, I hope I'm good enough, or I hope he chooses me, you are unconsciously placing yourself in a lower position of power. You are handing him the keys to your self-worth before he has even ordered a drink. And here is the brutal truth about male psychology. Men can smell this energy. They can sense when a woman is seeking approval. It feels heavy. It feels like work. And it kills mystery instantly because there is nothing to chase if you have already surrendered. To be truly unforgettable, you must master the art of detachment. Detachment does not mean being cold. It does not mean being rude or aloof. It means being outcome independent. It means walking into that date with a mindset that says, I am a complete, happy, and fascinating woman with or without this man. I am here to see if he is worthy of joining my life, not to beg for a place in his. Do you feel the shift in that? When you detach from the outcome, you stop performing. You stop trying to say the perfect thing to impress him. You relax. And when a woman is relaxed, she becomes fluid, playful, and incredibly magnetic. Think about the most charismatic people you know. They aren't the ones trying the hardest. They are the ones who seem completely at ease with themselves. This is the energy of the selector, not the beggar. The unforgettable woman knows that her value is intrinsic. She knows that this date is just an audition for him. Is he kind enough for you? Is he funny enough? Is he safe enough? When you flip the script and become the one doing the evaluating, your body language changes, your eye contact changes, you lean back instead of leaning forward, you become the prize. So the first step of your ritual is a mental declaration. Look in the mirror and say this, I am open to connection, but I am attached to nothing. Release the need for this specific date to be the one. When you let go of the grip, you open your hands to receive something real, regulating your nervous system. Now that we have shifted your mindset, we need to talk about your biology. Because you can tell yourself, I am confident 1,000 times, but if your heart is racing and your palms are sweating, your body is telling a different story. And here is a secret that psychology tells us: emotions are contagious. Human beings have something called mirror neurons. This means that when you are sitting across from someone, their nervous system is scanning yours. If you are anxious, tight, and holding your breath, his nervous system will pick up on that danger signal. He will feel anxious even if he doesn't know why. He won't feel chemistry, he will feel unease. But if you are grounded, slow, and syrupy sweet in your relaxation, he will feel safe. And for a man, a woman who makes him feel safe and relaxed is addictive. He will want to be near you just to feel that peace again. So about 30 minutes before you leave, we need to regulate your nervous system. We need to move you from a state of flight or fight into a state of rest and receive. I want you to try a technique called the 4-7-8 drop. Sit somewhere quiet, close your eyes, inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Feel your ribs expand, hold that breath at the top for a count of 7. Let the oxygen swirl inside you, and then exhale audibly through your mouth for a count of 8, making a soft whoosh sound. Do this 4 times. What this does is physically force your heart rate to slow down. It signals to your brain that you are safe. It lowers your cortisol, the stress hormone that makes you awkward, and boosts your oxytocin and dopamine. When you are nervous, your movements become jerky and fast. When you are regulated, your movements become liquid. You move slower, you blink slower, you smile slower. This slowness is the height of elegance. Imagine your body is filled with warm honey, heavy, sweet, and slow. This is the state you want to be in when you walk out the door. You are not a frantic girl rushing to an appointment. You are a woman luxuriating in her own time. When you master your own nervous system, you automatically become the emotional anchor of the date. He will feel calm around you, and he will mistake that calmness for destiny. The main character visualization, we have the mindset, we have biology. Now we add the magic. The final step of your pre-date ritual is the visualization. Most people visualize the worst case scenario. They imagine running out of things to say, tripping in their heels, or an awkward silence. By imagining these things, you are actually rehearsing them. You are priming your brain to look for failure. We are going to prime your brain for magnetism. I want you to take the final 5 minutes while you are getting ready, maybe while you are putting on your perfume or fastening your jewelry. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and visualize the venue you are going to see yourself walking through the door. But don't just see it, feel it. Imagine that the air in the room changes the moment you enter. Imagine that there is a golden, warm light radiating from your chest. In this visualization, you are not a guest hoping to be welcome. You are the hostess. Even though it is a public place, imagine that the entire restaurant, the entire bar is your living room. You are gracious. You are comfortable. You are benevolent. See your date sitting at the table. In your mind's eye, see him not as a judge, but as a guest you are welcoming into your reality. When you approach him, you aren't walking toward him to get something. You are walking toward him to give him the gift of your presence. Visualizing yourself as the hostess changes your posture. A hostess is never anxious. She is concerned with the comfort of others because she knows she owns the space. She smiles warmly. She is generous with her eye contact. She is unhurried. Hold this image of yourself, glowing, unhurried, the main character of the scene. The way you view yourself in these quiet moments becomes the hunergetic imprint you carry with you. People can sense it. They can sense when a woman feels like a background character in someone else's movie versus when she knows she is the star of her own. When you finish this visualization, open your eyes, look at yourself in the mirror one last time. That woman looking back at you, she is not desperate. She is not nervous. She is regulated. She is detached from the outcome. She is the prize. Take a deep breath. Put on your coat. You are ready, not just to go on a date, but to leave a mark that he will not be able to wash away. Now, let's talk about the moment you actually see him, because the first 7 seconds, they change everything. The first 7 seconds, the biology of the first glance, you have arrived. You are outside the venue. You have done your breathing exercises and you are visualizing yourself as the hostess. Now, we enter the physical realm. There is a concept in psychology called thin slicing. It was popularized by Malcolm Gladwell, but it is actually a survival mechanism deeply embedded in our biology. It means that the human brain makes complex decisions about a person within the first few seconds of seeing them, often before a single word is spoken. When you walk into that room, brain is then slicing you. In less than 7 seconds, he is subconsciously categorizing you. Is she safe? Is she confident? Is she a maybe, a friend, or a high-value woman? Once he puts you in a box, it is very hard to get out of it. So we need to ensure you land in the unforgettable box immediately. This starts with your gait and posture. Most people, when they enter a room full of strangers, subconsciously shrink. They round their shoulders forward to protect their heart. It is a primal defensive posture. They look down at their phone or scan the floor. I want you to do the opposite. I want you to expose your heart. Before you open that door, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Imagine there is a string pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling. This exposes your neck and your chest, a display of vulnerability that signals immense confidence. Only a predator or a queen walks with a heart exposed. When you walk, do not rush. I will say this again and again, rushing is the enemy of elegance. Take longer strides than you normally would. When you take short, choppy steps, you look anxious. When you take long, smooth strides, you look like you own the ground you are walking on. Imagine you are walking through water. There is a slight resistance. This slows you down and gives your hips a natural rhythmic sway. You aren't shaking your hips for attention. You are simply moving with fluidity. If you are seated first, the rule still applies. Do not hunch over your phone. Sit back, cross your legs, expose your neck. Look around the room with mild amusement. You want him to see you before you see him. You want his first image of you to be a woman who is completely comfortable in her own skin, unbothered by the environment. Image alone sets the tone for the entire night. The art, the soft gaze. Now the moment happens. You spot him or he spots you. Our eyes are the most powerful transmitters of energy we possess, and yet most people use them incorrectly. When we are nervous, we tend to do one of two things. We either look away quickly or we stare too hard trying to look confident. Neither of these creates the unforgettable spark. The aggressive stare feels like a challenge. Looking away feels like a rejection. We are aiming for the middle ground. We are aiming for the soft gaze. I want you to practice this in the mirror. When we focus hard on something, the tiny muscles around our eyes, orbicularis oculi, tense up. Our eyes narrow. It looks piercing. To achieve the soft gaze, you need to consciously relax those muscles. Imagine you are looking at a beautiful sunset. or a puppy or something that melts your heart. Feel your lower eyelids relax. Feel your eyebrows settle. Your eyes should look slightly sleepy or dreamy. This is the look of a woman who is open to receiving. It is warm. It is inviting. It is the visual equivalent of a warm bath. When you lock eyes with him for that first time, do not break contact immediately. Hold his gaze for just 1 second longer than feels comfortable. And while you hold it, apply the soft gaze. Then and only then, let a smile spread across your face. This is a crucial micro sequence. Eyes first, then smile. If you smile instantly, it can look like a nervous tic or a people-pleasing mask. But if you look at him, take him in, and then smile, it tells him, I see you, I like what I see, and I am happy you are here. It feels personal. It feels like a secret just between the two of you. That 1 second of silent, soft eye contact before the greeting speaks louder than any hello ever could. It creates a bubble of intimacy in a crowded room. He will feel seen, and feeling seen is the drug everyone is addicted to. The greeting breaking the touch barrier. You have walked with grace. You have connected with your eyes. Now you are face to face. How do you greet him? Do not offer a handshake. Handshakes are for business meetings. They are cold, formal, and create a physical barrier between you. Do not go for the A-frame hug, the one where you lean in but keep your hips 3 feet apart because you're awkward. That signals distance and hesitation. To be unforgettable, you must break the touch barrier immediately, but you must do it with warmth, not aggression. I recommend the forearm anchor. As you greet him, whether you go in for a light hug or just a close stand, reach out and gently touch his forearm or his bicep with your hand. This is a safe zone for touch. It isn't overly sexual, but is undeniably intimate. Skin to skin contact triggers a micro release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. By touching him within the first 5 seconds, you are signaling to his nervous system, I am not a threat. I am a source of warmth. If you hug fully, press your heart toward us for a brief second. It doesn't have to be a long, lingering embrace that makes things weird, just a solid, warm 1 second press. Then pull back. And here is the trick. Keep your hand on his arm for a moment as you step back to look at him. Say something simple and approving. It is so lovely to finally meet you. You look great. I'm so glad we made this happen. By keeping your hand on his arm while you say this, you are anchoring the compliment. You are associating your touch with his positive emotion. This greeting establishes the dynamic for the rest of the date. If you start with distance, you will spend the next 2 hours trying to bridge that gap. If you start with warmth and touch, the bridge is already built. You can just walk across it. You have established that you are a tactile, warm, confident woman who isn't afraid of connection. Now, you are seated. The waiter is coming. The nerves might try to creep back in as the silence falls. How do you fill that silence? How do you talk in a way that makes him addicted to the sound of your voice? Conversation alchemy, moving beyond interview mode. You are seated, the drinks have arrived, the initial nervousness has settled. Now the real game begins. This is where 90% of dates fail. They don't fail because the people aren't nice. They fail because the conversation is forgettable. Most dates fall into a trap I call the interview mode. It goes like this. So, where are you from? Chicago. Oh, cool. How long have you lived here? About 3 years. Nice. Do you like it? Yeah, it's good. And what do you do for work? This is not a date. This is a deposition. When you ask factual, logistical questions, you get factual, logistical answers. You are engaging the manager, part of his brain, the part that processes data, schedules, and facts. This part of the brain is cold. It is efficient, but it is not capable of falling in love. To be unforgettable, you must bypass the manager and speak directly to the dreamer. You need to shift from information gathering to emotion evoking. You do not want to know what he does. You want to know who he is. So how do we do this without sounding like a therapist? We use a technique called the emotional pivot. Let's take the most boring question in the world. What do you do? If he asks you this, answer briefly, but then pivot to an emotion. Instead of just saying, I'm a graphic designer, say, I'm a graphic designer. I spend most of my day arguing with fonts, but honestly, I love the feeling of creating something out of nothing. What about you? What's the thing that lights you up in your week? Do you see the difference? You didn't just give him data, you gave him a feeling, and then you asked him a question that requires him to search his feelings, not his resume. When you ask a man, what lights you up? Or what is your passion? His eyes will change. He has to pause. He has to access a positive memory. And in that moment, his brain associates that positive spike of dopamine with you. Here is a rule to live by, say, Never ask a question that can be answered with one word. Instead of where are you from, ask I'm trying to guess where you grew up based on your vibe. You seem like a city person, but maybe I'm wrong. This is playful. It is a challenge. It invites a story. Instead of how was your week, ask what was the highlight of your week? What was the one moment where you actually felt free? This might feel bold at first. You might worry it's too deep, but remember, we are trying to be unforgettable. The woman who asks about his freedom is the woman he thinks about on the drive home. The woman who asks about his commute is the woman he forgets by tomorrow morning. You are the alchemist. You take leaden, boring facts and you turn them into golden emotional connections. Stop interviewing him for the job of boyfriend and start discovering the human being sitting across from you. The power of deep listening and pauses. Now that you are asking better questions, he is going to start talking. He's going to start opening up. And this brings us to a superpower that very few people possess in the modern world: deep listening. When most people listen, they aren't actually listening. They are waiting for their turn to speak. They are rehearsing their next sentence. Or if they are nervous, they are terrified of the silence. So the moment he stops talking, they jump in with a nervous laugh or a rapid fire comment. This creates a frantic energy. It feels like a game of ping pong where the ball is moving too fast. I want you to become comfortable with the space between words. Here is the technique, the 3-second rule. When he finishes a sentence, especially if he has just shared something personal, do not speak immediately. Wait for 3 full seconds. 1, 2, 3. In those 3 seconds, look at his eyes. Keep your expression soft. This silence does 2 incredibly powerful things. First, it signals immense confidence. Only a woman who is completely secure in herself can sit in silence without fidgeting. It shows him that you are not desperate to impress him. You are comfortable just being with him. It is a high status behavior. Second, and more importantly, it invites him to go deeper. Silence acts like a vacuum. Human beings have a natural urge to fill it. When you don't jump in to save him from the silence, he will often start talking again. And usually, the second thing he says is the real truth. The first sentence is the rehearsed answer, silence. The second sentence is the vulnerable answer. For example, he might say, yeah, work has been really stressful lately. If you jump in immediately and say, oh, me too, I hate stress, the moment is gone. But if you wait 3 seconds, looking at him with empathy, he might continue. I actually think I'm in the wrong career. I've been thinking about quitting. Boom. Now you are in real territory. Now you are connecting soul to soul. He will feel subconscious relief because finally someone is actually listening to him, not just competing for airtime. While you are listening, use your body, not just your ears. Lean in slightly when he gets passionate. Tilt your head, but keep your body still. Nervous women nod their heads like bobbleheads. They nod too fast, saying, yeah, totally. Yeah. It looks eager to please. The unforgettable woman nods slowly. She nods only when a point lands. She is absorbing, not just agreeing. This kind of listening is rare. In a world of distraction, giving someone your full, unhurried, silent attention is the greatest compliment you can give. He will leave the date feeling like he is the most interesting man in the world. And because you are the one who made him feel that way, he will project that fascination back onto you. So let the silence do the heavy lifting. Stop working so hard to fill the air. The most magnetic moments often happen when nothing is being said at all. Emotional spiking. We have a deep connection. We have safety. We are listening. If you stop here, you will have a wonderful date. You will be safe. You will be nice. Gets you friend zoned. Nice is comfortable, but it isn't addictive. To be unforgettable, you need a spark. You need friction. Think about a match. You can't light a match on a smooth surface like glass. You need a rough strip. You need friction to create fire. In dating, this friction is called emotional spiking or the dynamic of push-pull. Many women are terrified of disagreeing with a man. They think everything he says, he will like me. So he says, I love sushi. She says, oh, me too. He says, I love action movies. She says, me too. He says, I think pineapple belongs on pizza. She says, this is boring. It feels flat. There is no tension. A high-value woman has her own opinions. She is not a mirror. She is a landscape with peaks and valleys. You need to learn to playfully disqualify and tease. This isn't about being mean or rude. It is about being playful. It is the energy of a bratty little sister mixed with a seductive queen. Let's go back to the pizza example. He says, I love pineapple on pizza. Nice girl says, oh, cool, yeah. I like it too. The unforgettable woman looks at him with a shocked, playful smile and says, Oh no, we were getting along so well, and then you had to go and say that. I don't know if we can be friends anymore. Do you feel the energy shift? You just pushed him away playfully. You created a tiny moment of rejection. His brain instantly wakes up. Wait, she's judging me. I have to win her back. Then you smile and laugh to show him you are joking. You pull him back in. This is the push-pull. Push, I don't know if we can be friends. Pull, smile and change the subject or touch his arm. This dynamic spikes his dopamine. It makes the conversation feel like a game. You can do this with anything. If he teases you, don't get defensive. Agree and amplify it. If he says, you're pretty short, don't say, no, I'm not. Say, I know. It's actually dangerous. You have to be careful not to trip over me. If he says something cocky, you can use a technique called the humble check. Look at him with a skeptical smile and say, are you always this trouble, or is it just because it's a Tuesday? These little moments of friction show him that you are not intimidated by him. You are not just sitting there hoping he likes you. You are testing him. You have standards. You have a backbone. Men love a challenge. They don't want the door to be wide open. They want to have to knock. When you agree with everything, the door is wide open. When you use emotional spiking, you are closing the door slightly and peeking out, making him wonder if you're going to let him in. But, and this is vital, you must keep the ratio correct. Think of it as a recipe. You want 9% warmth and connection and percent spiking and teasing. If you tease too much, you seem insecure or mean. If you are too warm, you seem boring. But that 10% of spice, that is what makes the meal memorable. So look for opportunities to disagree playfully. Look for moments to tease him about his taste in music or his shoes. Say things like, I'm not sure I trust someone who doesn't like dogs. Say things like, you are lucky you're cute because that opinion was terrible. Be bold, be playful. The goal is to make him feel a full range of emotions, safe, heard, challenged, and excited. If you can make him feel all four of those things in 1 hour, you have already won the game. He won't just want a second date. He will be planning it before the check even arrives. Now we have mastered the conversation, but there is another layer to this puzzle, a layer that goes deeper than words. We need to talk about mystery because the most interesting book is the one you haven't finished reading yet. The psychology of mystery, the Zeigarnik effect in dating. We have established a connection. We have established friction. Now, we must establish obsession to make a man think about you long after the date is over. You cannot be a clear puddle he can see to the bottom of. You must be in a deep ocean where the bottom is hidden. There is a psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect. It states that the human brain remembers unfinished tasks or interrupted stories far better than finished ones. Think about it. When you watch a TV show and the episode ends on a massive cliffhanger, what happens? You can't stop thinking about it. You need the next episode. Your brain is itching for closure. But when the movie ends and everything is wrapped up perfectly, you say, that was nice. You turn off the TV and you go to sleep. Most women on dates are the movie that ends. They give total closure. They tell him everything. Here is where I went to school. Here is why I broke up with my ex. Here is my 5-year plan. Here is my relationship with my mother. Lay it all out on the table because they think, if he knows me, he will like me. But attraction doesn't grow in clarity. Attraction grows in the shadows. It grows in the questions he can't answer yet. I want you to become the cliffhanger. How do you do this practically? You practice the art of the open loop. When you are telling a story, don't finish it. Or drop a detail that begs for a follow-up, but don't explain it immediately. For example, if he asks about your travel, don't just list the cities. Say, I lived in Paris for a year. It was magical except for that one night in November that completely changed the way I look at relationships. But that's a story for another time. Anyway, do you like French food? Do you see what you just did? You planted a hook. The night that changed everything, and then you pulled it away. That's a story for another time. His brain is going to go haywire. What happened in November? Was it a crime? Was it a revelation? He might ask you, wait, tell me what happened. And you simply smile a playful secret smile and say, if you're lucky, I might tell you on the second date. I don't give away my best secrets to strangers. This is powerful for 2 reasons. 1, you just guaranteed he wants a second date. 2, you have positioned yourself as a woman of value. You are a vault. You do not just hand over your precious memories to anyone who buys you a drink. They have to earn it. That throughout the date, leave little breadcrumbs, mention a passion you have, but don't explain it fully. Mention a dream you're working on, but keep the details vague. be an unread book. Let him read the jacket cover, but make him realize that if he wants to read the rest, he is going to have to stick around strategic vulnerability vs TMI. Now, there is a fine line we must walk. I just told you to be mysterious. But if you are too mysterious, you seem cold, you seem like a wall. To connect, you must be vulnerable. But in the age of therapy speak, many women confuse vulnerability with TMI. This is the fastest way to kill attraction. TMI is when you treat a first date like a therapy session. It looks like this: my ex was a narcissist. He totally destroyed my self-esteem. I have trust issues now, so I'm really anxious about being here. This is not a vulnerability. This is trauma dumping. When you share unprocessed pain, you are handing him a burden. You are asking him to fix you or validate you. It feels heavy, it feels messy, and frankly, it's scary for a man who just met you. Strategic vulnerability, on the other hand, is sharing a human truth that creates connection, but doing it from a place of strength. The rule is share the scar, not the wound. A wound is something that is still bleeding. It hurts to touch. A scar is something that has healed. It is a story of survival. It is a part of who you are, but it doesn't control you anymore. For example, instead of complaining about your toxic ex, you can say, I used to be a bit of a people pleaser in my early 20s. I said yes to everything, but I've spent the last year really learning how to protect my peace. It feels really good to finally know what I want. Do you feel the difference? You admitted a weakness, which makes you relatable and human, but you framed it as a victory. You are not a victim. You are the heroine of your own story. This kind of vulnerability makes a man trust you. It shows him you are self-aware. It invites him to be vulnerable too. He might say, I get that. I used to work too much and burn out. Now you are bonding over growth, not over trauma. Also, keep the heavy topics for later. First dates are for chemistry, curiosity, and compatibility. They are not for dissecting childhood trauma or financial debt. You want him to associate you with feelings of lightness, hope, and intrigue. If a heavy topic comes naturally, address it briefly and move on. If he asks why you're single, don't give a sad list of failures. Say, I think I just wasn't ready to meet the right person yet. I was too busy becoming the woman I wanted to be, but I think I'm ready now. This is the perfect balance. You are open, but you are guarded enough to show that your inner world is a sacred space. You grant access slowly. This pacing tells him that your heart is a prize, not a public park open to everyone. Being scarce with your attention. We have talked about what you say. Now, let's talk about where you look. There is a mistake that many women make when they really like a guy. They give him the laser beam, they lock onto him, they never look away, they hang on his every word, they lean in too far, they ignore the waiter, the music, the room, and their phone. On the surface, this seems polite, but energetically, it creates an imbalance. It signals, you are the most important thing in my universe right now. While that sounds romantic on a first date, it can smell a bit like desperation. It makes you too available. To be unforgettable, you must be a little bit scarce with your attention. You must show him that while you are enjoying his company, you are also engaged with the world around you. This is the energy of a queen holding court. A queen listens to her suitor, yes, but she also notices the servants. She notices the music. She is aware of her kingdom. Practically, this means breaking the trance. Every now and then, look away from him. Look at the DA core of the restaurant. Watch the people at the table next to you for a split second. Take a sip of your drink and look into the distance as if you are pondering a thought before bringing your eyes back to him. This breaking of the beam resets the tension. When you look away, he has a split second where he doesn't have your attention. He has to wait for it to return. And when you bring your eyes back to him and smile, it feels like a reward. Also, treat the staff with incredible warmth. A woman who ignores the waiter to stare at a date looks like a fan. A woman who pauses the conversation to smile at the waiter, say thank you and make a small joke. She looks like a high-value woman who spreads light everywhere she goes. He will watch you interact with others and think, she is charming to everyone. I want to be the one she chooses. Do not check your phone. That is rude scarcity, but do check your environment. That is elegant scarcity. It reminds him that there is a whole world outside of this table, and you are a part of it. He has to work to keep your focus on him, and trust me, he will work for it. Now, we have covered the mind, the eyes, and the words, but what about the body? What about the signals you are sending without saying a single thing? Non-verbal subcommunication. Mirroring and leading, we have spoken a lot about words, but words are only 7% of communication. The other 93%, its tone, its energy, and its body language. You can say the most charming thing in the world, but if your body is saying stay away, he will feel the rejection. Conversely, you can say nothing at all, and if your body is screaming come closer, he will be magnetized. To be unforgettable, you must master the dance of mirroring and leading. This is a concept from NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. It is the secret language of rapport. When two people are deeply connected, their bodies naturally synchronize, they sit the same way, they drink at the same time, their energy levels match. You can hack this process to accelerate intimacy. Start by mirroring. Observe his posture. Is he leaning back, relaxed, or is he leaning forward, intense? Subtly, and I mean subtly, match him. If he crosses his legs, wait 30 seconds and cross yours. If he speaks slowly and quietly, drop your voice to match his tempo. Do not mimic him like a parrot. This sends a signal to his reptile brain. She is like me. She is safe. She understands me. It creates an instant feeling of clicking. But here is where the unforgettable woman differs from the typical dater. Most women mirror and stay there. They become followers. You are going to lead. Once you have established that connection for about 20 minutes, I want you to run a test. Change your posture deliberately. If you were both leaning in, lean back. Relax your shoulders. Take a sip of your drink. Then watch him. Does he follow you? Does he lean back a few seconds later? Does he take a sip of his drink right after you? If he does, congratulations, you have him. He is subconsciously hooked on your rhythm. You are now the conductor of the interaction. If he doesn't follow, it means you need to build more rapport. Go back to mirroring for a while. This dynamic of matching his energy and then pulling him into yours is a subtle power play. It establishes you as the prize without you ever having to say, I am the prize. It is a biological negotiation of status, and you just won. The triangle of desire. Now let's dial up the heat. There comes a moment in every great date where the vibe shifts. The conversation slows down. The laughter creates a lull. This is the moment of possibility. This is where the friend zone is either solidified or shattered forever. To ensure you land in the category of desire, you are going to use a technique called the triangle of desire. This is a specific pattern of eye movement that signals to a man's primal brain that you are thinking about kissing him. It is subtle enough that he won't consciously know what you are doing. He will feel a sudden spike in adrenaline. Here is the pattern: left eye, right eye, lips. When he is speaking or during a silence, look at his left eye. Then shift your gaze to his right eye. Then let your eyes drop down to his mouth. Let them linger there for just a fraction of a second, maybe half a second. Then bring your eyes back up to his eyes and smile slightly. That downward glance is the trigger in body language. Looking at someone's mouth is an intention cue. It signals oral fixation. It signals that you are imagining physical contact. When you combine the soft gaze we talked about earlier with the triangle of desire, you create a powerful vacuum of tension. But be careful. Do not do this while he is talking about his grandmother or his work stress. That's weird. Do this when the conversation is light, playful, or intimate. Do it when he is teasing you. Do it when he is complimenting you. Another variation of this is the shy drop. If the tension gets really high and you feel him looking at you intensely, don't just stare back. Look at his eyes, then look down at his lips, then look down at your own lap and smile, then look back up at him through your eyelashes. This sequence, connection, desire, submission, shyness, reconnection, is dynamite. It makes you look incredibly feminine. It creates a chase dynamic in a microcosm. He sees you desire him. He sees you get shy about it. And his instinct to pursue and reassure you kicks into high gear. These are microscopic movements. They take less than 2 seconds, but they scream louder than any outfit ever could. Scent and sound, finally, to be truly unforgettable, we must engage the senses that bypass logic. We must engage the nose and the ear. Visual memory fades. But olfactory memory is the strongest and most primitive memory system in the human brain. It is directly wired to the amygdala and hippocampus, the centers of emotion. You want to have a signature scent, but you don't want to bathe in it. You want your scent to be a discovery, not an announcement. Apply your perfume to your pulse points, the neck, the wrists, and here is the secret: the back of your neck, right at the hairline. Why the back of the neck? Because when you hug him goodbye, or when you lean in close to hear him in a loud bar, scent will waft directly to him. It will be subtle. It will feel like a ghost. Later, when he is walking down the street and smells vanilla or jasmine or sandalwood, his brain will instantly teleport him back to that moment with you. You are literally hacking his memory banks. Now, let's talk about sound. We mentioned this briefly in the beginning. But your voice is an instrument. When women get nervous, their vocal cords tighten. Their voice gets higher, faster, and shriller. This high pitch signals youth and friendliness, but it can also signal maturity or anxiety. The unforgettable voice is lower. It is slower. It has more breath in it. I want you to consciously practice dropping your voice into your chest. Imagine the sound coming from your heart, not your nose. When you want to make a point, or when you are using the triangle of desire, lower your volume, make him lean in. There is immense power in the linen whisper. In a crowded room, lean toward his ear, invading his personal space for just a second and say something just for him. I'm really glad you picked this place. That story is crazy. The combination of your scent, the warmth of your breath on his ear, and the low tone of your voice creates a sensory overload. For that split second, the rest of the room disappears. It is just you and him. He will feel a shiver down his spine. That shiver is the feeling of him falling under your spell. You have now mastered the body, the eyes, the voice, and the scent. You are a sensory masterpiece. But the date is not over. Now comes the practical part. The part where many women lose their power by being too nice or too difficult. How do you handle the bill, the door, the boundaries, high value tests, the bill and the door? We have covered romance, psychology, and seduction. But now we must crash land back into reality. Eventually the lights come up. The waiter drops a piece of paper on the table, and suddenly the magical bubble pops, replaced by a moment of panic. Do I reach for my wallet? Do I look away? Do I offer to split it? In the modern world, this is a minefield, but for the unforgettable woman, it is a dance. Let's be clear, a high-value woman is financially independent. She can pay for the dinner. She can buy the whole restaurant if she wants to. But on a first date, this isn't about finances. It is about energy. It is about allowing him to step into his masculine power. When a man pays for a date, biologically, he is investing in you. Psychology tells us that we value what we invest in. If he invests nothing, he values it less. However, you never want to look entitled or expectant. That is a turn-off. So how do we balance this? I want you to use a move called the reach and pause. When the check arrives, do not ignore it. That looks spoiled. Reach for your purse. Slowly pull out your wallet. Do it at about 50%. Speed creates a window, pause for him to intervene. In 95% of cases, if he is a gentleman interested in you, he will see you reaching and say, I've got this. This is the critical moment. Many women fight it. They say, no, really, let me split it. I insist. Stop doing that. You are robbing him of the gift of giving. You are turning a romantic gesture into a business transaction. When he says, I've got this, simply stop your hand, look him directly in the eyes with a warm, genuine smile and say 2 words, thank you. Or if you want to be extra charming, thank you. That is very gentlemanly of you. Put your wallet away immediately. Do not argue. By receiving his gift with grace, you make him feel like a provider. You make him feel capable. A man feels good when he can take care of a woman. Let him feel good. Now, let's talk about the door. The same logic applies. Can you open a door? Of course, you have arms, but allowing him to open it is a micro test of his attentiveness. When you approach a door, slow your pace just slightly. Create a little space for him to step forward. If he opens it, walk through, smile, and make eye contact as you pass him. Eye contact is his reward. If he doesn't open it and walks through first, take note. It's not a deal breaker, but it tells you something about his awareness. Remember, you are not playing helpless. You are playing. There is a massive difference. Helplessness is needy. Receptivity is royal. A queen allows others to serve her not because she is weak, but because she understands that allowing service creates a bond of loyalty. When you gracefully accept the dinner and the open door, you are telling him, I am a woman who is used to being treated well, and men naturally rise to the standard you set, holding boundaries with warmth. Now, let's talk about the most attractive trait a woman can possess. It isn't her smile, it isn't her dress, it is her boundaries. Many women believe that to be unforgettable, they must be cool. They have to go with the flow. He wants to go to a second bar. Okay, he wants to order another round. Okay, he tries to touch you too soon. Okay? Here is the truth. A woman without boundaries is forgettable. Why? Because she has no edges. She is a shapeshifter who molds herself to fit him, and that is boring. A woman with boundaries has shape. She has substance. She has self-respect, and nothing makes a man respect you more than a well-placed no. But the key is how you deliver it. You don't need to be aggressive. You don't need to be cold. You need to master the soft no. The soft no is firm in meaning, but warm in delivery. It is a boundary wrapped in velvet. Let's say the date is going well and he says, let's go to this dive bar I know. It's open late. You are tired. You have a 7 a.m. meeting. The nice girl says yes and suffers. Unforgettable woman smiles, touches his arm and says, I would love to keep hanging out with you because I'm having such a great time. But I have an early morning tomorrow, so I need to be Cinderella and head home. But I definitely want to do this again. Let's break that down. Validation. I'm having a great time. The boundary, I need to head home. Future pacing. I want to do this again. This drives men wild. Why? Because you just ended the date on a high note. You left him wanting more. And you showed him that you prioritize your own well-being over pleasing a stranger. That signals high value. It signals that you have a life, a career, and standards that you adhere to. If he pushes a physical boundary, maybe he puts his hand on your leg and it feels too fast, simply move his hand away gently, smile and say, slow down, tiger, I'm not that easy. Say it with a laugh. It is playful, but the message is clear. You have to earn this. A man who gets angry at your boundaries is a predator. Let him go. A man who respects your boundaries is a partner. Keep him. But more importantly, a man who sees that you have boundaries will instantly categorize you as girlfriend, wife material rather than casual hookup material, because we protect what is rare. And a woman who owns her no is the rarest thing in the dating world. You have handled the bill. You have handled the boundaries. Now, the night is ending. The way you say goodbye will determine whether he texts you in 5 minutes or 5 days. You need to stick to the landing, the departure, the peak end rule. You have navigated the entire evening perfectly. You looked magnetic. You spoke with depth. You created friction and mystery. You handled the logistics with grace. Now you are facing the final hurdle. And surprisingly, this is where many almost perfect dates fall apart. They fall apart because they go on too long. There is a cognitive bias in psychology known as the peak end rule, popularized by Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman. This rule states that human beings do not remember an experience based on the average of every moment. We ignore the duration. Instead, our brains judge an entire experience based on 2 specific points: the peak, the most intense moment; the end, how the experience finished. This means that a 4-hour date that was amazing for 3 hours but ended with an hour of awkward, tired silence will be remembered as awkward. Conversely, a 90-minute date that was fun and ended while it was still fun will be remembered as amazing. Most women wait for the natural decay of the date. They wait until the conversation runs dry. They wait until the yawns start. They wait until the waiter is sweeping the floor around them. By doing this, you are effectively overriding the high-value memory with a low-energy ending. To be unforgettable, you must have the discipline to execute the early exit. You want to leave when the energy is still high. You want to leave when you are both laughing. You want to leave when he is in the middle of a story and you are leaning in, captivated. I know this sounds counterintuitive. Your instinct says, I like him, so I should stay longer. But remember, we are playing the long game. We are manufacturing obsession. If you stay until the energy dies, you have satisfied his hunger. He goes home full. He doesn't need to think about you because he had enough of you. But if you leave when the energy is peaking, you leave him starving, you interrupt the dopamine loop. So how do you do this without being rude? Wait for a high point, a great joke, a shared moment of connection, or after finishing a delicious dessert, glance at your phone, look genuinely surprised, and say, oh my gosh, look at the time. I've been having so much fun. I didn't realize how late it was. I actually have to get going. Notice the phrasing. I've been having so much fun. He will likely protest. No, stay, one more drink. This is the test. The unforgettable woman smiles warmly, touches his hand, and says, I would love to, but I really have to run. But we can pick this up next time. By leaving him wanting just 10% more, you guarantee that he spends the drive home replaying the date in his mind. He will wonder what you would have said next. He will wonder what that last drink would have been like. You have turned yourself into a cliffhanger. And as we learned, the brain loves a cliffhanger. The farewell anchor, you have initiated the exit. You are walking out of the venue together. The cool night air hits your face. The noise of the restaurant fades away. This is it, the final 30 seconds, the farewell anchor, everything we have done tonight, the eye contact, the questions, the pauses, culminates here. Do not let this moment be awkward. Do not stand there shuffling your feet, waiting for an Uber, making small talk about the weather. Take control of the goodbye. First, the physical separation went well. He will likely go for a hug or a kiss. If you want to kiss him, keep it brief. A first date kiss should be a tasting, not a buffet, a soft 2-second press of the lips, then pull back slowly. If you don't want to kiss him yet, offer the warm embrace, hug him tightly, press your body against his for a second longer than a friendly hug. Let him smell that scent on the back of your neck, then pull back, keep your hands on his arms or his chest for a moment. Now the verbal anchor, do not say, let's do this again sometime. That is generic, that is filler. Do not say, text me. That is a command and it puts the ball in his court too aggressively. Instead, I want you to give him a specific emotional label for the night. Look him in the eyes and say, tonight was really intriguing. You're not what I expected. Or, I had a really wonderful time. You have great energy. The word intriguing is a power word. It isn't just a compliment. It is a challenge. It implies that he is a puzzle you are solving. It makes him feel mysterious. And saying, you're not what I expected is the ultimate hook. He will spend the next 3 days wondering, what did she expect? And is it good that I'm not that? Finally, the turn. Once you have said your line and the car is there, commit to the leave. Smile one last time, turn around and walk away. Here is the secret. Do not look back immediately. Walk with the same fluid water like gate you entered with. Shoulders back, head high. Let him watch you walk away. Men love to watch a woman leave. It gives them a moment to admire you without you catching them. It creates a visual imprint of you moving away from him, which triggers his hunter instinct to follow. If you want to be devastating, you can use the Princess Diana turn. Walk about 10 steps, then just before you get into your car or round the corner, turn your head back, just your head, not your whole body. Catch his eye one last time, smile, and then disappear. That final image, your face smiling over your shoulder, then vanishing into the night, is the period at the end of the sentence. It is the image he will see when he closes his eyes to sleep that night. You are gone. You are safe in your own world. And he is left standing on the sidewalk, wondering how soon is too soon to text you. Speaking of texting, what happens now? The date is over. The silence has begun.
Do you text him? Do you wait?
How do you keep this momentum going without killing the mystery? The aftermath, the phantom period. You are in your car or you are in the Uber. The date is over. The first instinct you will have almost biologically is to pick up your phone. You want to text your best friend. Oh my God, he was so cute. Or worse, you want to text him. I had such a great time. Get home safe. I want you to put the phone down. We are entering a phase I call the phantom period. This is the time between the physical separation and the next digital contact. And this specific window of time is where the unforgettable status is cemented. Here is the psychology behind it. Attraction grows in space, not in presence. When you are with him, he is experiencing you. But when you are gone, he is processing you. Think of a photograph developing in a dark room. You need the darkness for the image to appear. If you turn on the bright lights too soon, the image washes out. Sending a text 5 minutes after you leave is turning on the bright lights. It pops the bubble of mystery. It reassures him instantly that you are sold. It tells him, you don't need to worry, I like you. And while that sounds nice, it removes the tension. And tension is what fuels the chase. I want you to go home, do your skincare routine, make some tea, read a book, go to sleep. Do not text him. Why? Because I want him to drive home in silence. I want him to walk into his empty apartment. I want him to look at his phone and see nothing. This silence forces his brain to ask questions. Did she have a good time? She seemed into me, but she didn't text. Maybe she's not sure. What is she doing right now? These questions are the seeds of obsession. By not texting, you are allowing him the space to wonder about you. You are allowing the imprint. If he texts you immediately, had a great time, get home safe, do not reply instantly. Wait, if he texts at 10:08 p.m., reply the next morning. I know. You think this is playing games, but it is actually about maintaining your own energetic boundary. You are winding down. You are entering your queen energy of rest. You are not glued to your device waiting for his validation. By waiting until the morning, you send a subconscious message. My night didn't revolve around you. I went home, I lived my life, slept well, and now I am acknowledging you. This phantom period is scary for many women because it feels like a loss of control, but it is actually the ultimate act of control. You are trusting that the impression you made in person is strong enough to survive the silence. And trust me, if you followed the steps in this video, it is. Let the silence do the work for you. Let him miss you. You cannot miss someone who is constantly in your notification center. The follow-up strategy. Now the sun has risen. The phantom period is over. He texted you last night. Now, you reply, but you do not reply with generic fluff. You reply with the callback. The goal of the first text after a date is not to start a long conversation. It is to solidify a positive memory and then get off the phone. We do not want to become texting buddies. We want to be dating partners. So how do you craft the perfect follow-up? You reference one specific positive or funny moment from the date. This triggers his memory of how good he felt.
Yeah, text your morning.
Yeah, I had fun too. How is your day going? The unforgettable text. Morning, I'm still laughing about your story regarding the penguin heist. I definitely view you differently now. Hope you survived your early meeting. Let's dissect why this works. Still laughing about dots. You are anchoring him back to a high dopamine moment. You are reminding him that you share a sense of humor. Penguin heist. This is an inside joke. It creates a feeling of you vis the world. It makes the text feel intimate and specific to him. View you differently now, a playful tease. Adds a little spike of mystery. Hope you survived. It shows you listen to his schedule, but it doesn't ask a generic question. Once you send this, he will likely respond enthusiastically. Engage for 2 or 3 texts. Keep it high energy and then exit the digital conversation. Do not text back and forth all day. If the conversation drags on, the mystery evaporates. You become accessible. You want to be the champagne of women, enjoyed in special moments, not tap water that is available 24/7. After a few volleys, say, I've got to run to an appointment, but it was lovely hearing from you. This signals I have a life. It also puts the ball firmly in his court to ask for the second date. If he is a high value man, he will realize that he can't just text you endlessly. If he wants your attention, he's going to have to book your time again. And that is exactly what we want. We want him to realize that the only way to experience the magic of the unforgettable woman is to be in her presence. We don't want his thumbs, we want his time. You have now completed the entire cycle, from the mindset shift before you left the house, to the entrance, to the conversation, to the exit, and finally to the silence that makes him crave more. You have not manipulated him. You have simply presented the highest, most potent version of yourself. You have moved from being a passive participant in your love life to being the author. Now let's wrap this up, because none of this works if you don't believe one fundamental truth. You are the prize, the mindset of abundance. We have covered a lot of ground today. We have talked about breathing, about eye contact, about the psychology of silence and the art of the exit. These are powerful tools. They are the polish that makes the diamond shine. But I want to leave you with one final fundamental truth, a truth that is more important than any technique I could ever teach you. The techniques are polish, but being unforgettable is not about tricking a man into liking you. It isn't about performing a perfect routine so that he gives you applause. Being unforgettable is a side effect of being unforgettable to yourself. When you treat your own time as sacred, he will treat it as sacred. When you view your own thoughts as valuable, he will hang on your every word. When you love your own company so much that you are happy to go home alone, he will be desperate to make sure you don't have to. The strategies we discussed, the pauses, the boundaries, the mystery, they only work because they are expressions of self-love. They are the behaviors of a woman who knows her worth. So please do not use this video as a checklist to stress over. Did I look at his left eye? Did I wait 3 seconds? Did I turn my head correctly? Relax. Breathe. The most magnetic thing you can do is to enjoy yourself. If you go on a date and you forget every single rule, but you laugh from your belly and you honor your own spirit, you will still be magnetic. And remember, this rejection is protection. If you show up as this high value, radiant version of yourself, and he still doesn't see you, then he is simply not your match. He is blind to the frequency you are broadcasting. And that is okay, because the unforgettable woman knows that she is the prize, and the prize does not chase the winner. The winner chases the prize. Final call to action. Now, I have a challenge for you. I want you to cement this new identity right now. I want you to go down to the comments section and type this affirmation: I am the muse. Type it out, claim it. I am the muse. Let that be the energy you carry into your next date, your next conversation, and your next mirror reflection. If this video opened your eyes to the psychology of attraction, there is so much more I want to share with you. We have only scratched the surface of what it means to be a high-value woman in the modern world. So make sure you like this video. It helps other women find this message. And hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You do not want to miss the next chapter of your transformation. Go out there, be bold, be mysterious, be you. You are ready.